Let's compare a Saberforge V4 Infinity Edge Day Blade to a Saberforge V4 Infinity Edge blade, so just kind of a standard blade. Now both of these blades, you guys, are actually pretty much the same. The main difference is the color itself. So the construction of the blade, whether it's a day blade or the standard blade, is really quite similar. So one thing to keep in mind is Saberforge seems to have switched the blade tips on their lightsabers in recent years. So these are the pointed tip version of these Saberforge blades, and the more kind of recent Saberforge blades have the rounded tip to them. And so first of all, you see that the standard blade is kind of a whitish silvery color to it, and the day blade is, well, whatever color the day blade is. In this case, it is blue, so here it is. And, you know, Saberforge has several additional color options for their day blades: red, orange, yellow, green, and purple, along with blue. So several options, and you want to, you know, kind of match the color of your LED as close as possible optimally to the day blade for the best effect. And so, well, why would you use a day blade over just a standard blade? So you can get really a nice bright color with a day blade. So especially if you're in a very high light environment. So like if you're indoors where there's some very bright lights, or also if you're outside and there's a lot of sunlight, then a day blade can be a very good option for you. Now, if you're in a low light environment, generally, you know, a standard blade like this would be, you know, kind of more optimal, or, you know, better, let's say. So with the blade thickness, now the blade thickness of these blades is the same. So these are both thick-walled blades. They're intended for heavy dueling, so that's good news for the duelers out there. And they both have blade diffusion film on the inside as well. And so that helps you, well, diffuse the light throughout the blade in a more even manner. And there's also a mirrored tip on both of these, and then also a light diffusion ring. So, and the tips for the blades are also threaded. So that's kind of how they're similar. But then when you actually attach these to a lightsaber hilt, you'll see how they're a little bit different in how they will appear. Now, the other nice thing about the day blades, though, is that you don't even need to have them on for there to be this kind of perception of the color of the blade. Because otherwise, you know, you have a lightsaber and you have this white blade attached to it. You don't really know what color the blade's going to be or supposed to be necessarily, right? But with a day blade, a blue blade will always look blue. And, you know, if you want to change colors, that can also work against you in that sense. But anyway, let's attach it to a hilt now. So I'm actually going to attach these blades to an Ultrasaber's hilt. So these are Saberforge blades, Ultrasaber's hilt, but they are compatible since Ultrasabers accommodates 1-inch diameter blades. So first, let's go with just the standard blade. That's how that looks. So this is a blue lightsaber blade, and this is just how it looks with the standard Saberforge blade. And it does look a little bit almost pinkish, you know, on camera in parts of this, and that's just how it looks on camera. In person, it doesn't look that way at all. All right, here is the other blade. So you've got, this is the day blade. You see a very kind of rich blue. There's also sort of a dark border almost around the blade, but the light is diffused very thoroughly throughout the blade, and that's, you know, that's with both of these types of blades. But here it is, you guys. This has been a comparison between a Saberforge, just kind of their standard V4 Infinity Edge blade, and just, you know, one of their day blades, their V4 Infinity Edge day blades. And this is the blue one. So feel free to comment below. This is a Saberforge blade comparison.